I've suffered from sleep paralysis since I was 14, 3 years ago. About the same time my anxiety kicked in. It's simply been put down to a mix of teenage hormones and stresses of turning into a young adult. You're a blossoming young man, Dan. Lots going on in your body and brain, and you're struggling to navigate it. Give it time. It'll all settle down. Here, have some self-help books that will do fuck all and deal with it. Well, thanks, Miss Jones. I wonder how much those books are going to help me now. I think I'm going to die. Here's the hint. They're not. You see, the nightmares had started creeping in, grazing my subconscious with clawed hands at first, but once they had sunk into this and seeped into me, corrupting my sleep. It was always 4 a.m. I knew this as the clock was the only thing I could see except my door and it. There was no chance of me keeping my door closed, not with my cat Jin would throw a tantrum of yowling, pawing, and scratching that kept everyone up at night if she was either closed or locked out of in a room. She was the queen of the house and liked to prowl around at night, so at least once a week I'd wake up terrified of looking at the clock, but my eyes always dragging me towards it anyway. Sometimes I was lucky. I'd missed it. The perpetual ticking would guide me back to the hazy nothing and it was all okay. But if it read 4 a.m, my heart would feel like ice, whilst my skin would start to burn. I've learned by this point that it was futile to try and move, or talk. I knew the drill by this point. My eyes would be only allowed the ability to move. A cruel, sick cruelty. Because lurking the upstairs was the thing, I'd only be able to see a shadow at this point. A luminous, ominous thing. Stalking the walls like a predator. Closing in. Its spidery hand would usually appear first, softly grabbing the railings, heaving its lanky body into view. Its leathery skin twisting and contouring in pain, its legs awkwardly jolting beneath it. This was it. I thought every single time. It was going to see me and heave its rotting body closer, closer until my nose was assaulted by the stench of rotting and blood. Its head would snap upwards, and it was a wrathful screech jolt forwards, broken limbs grasping for my soon-to-be corpse. Then I'd awake, panning like a man almost drowned. Heart beating like a hummingbird on crack, my bedsheets soaked through. It was only with this awakening my limbs would unlock, shaking like an adult in sobriety. I would never be able to go back to sleep after this. The dreaded time had passed, but my body was in full force flight. And flight mode. That was only subdued after hours of silence had passed. Now, don't get me wrong, even with itself, and the routine was awful and terrifying, but I could at least get solace knowing it was nothing but my own mind. It was just a recurring nightmare. Nothing was actually in the house. Nothing could hurt me. I was safe. Not from my own mind, but from any actual threats. Yeah, I was safe. A mantra that would bounce around my head until I could think straight again. At least I thought, until yesterday. Yesterday was different. My cousin Alex was staying the night, ready for my nan's birthday party tomorrow. He was a few years older than me, and growing up he was always been close. He was like a big brother to me. He knew the situation of keeping the doors open, and didn't mind. But then having to try and sleep with a cat losing her mind trying to open them. He was a college student, and often he stayed up until early hours of the morning. This is important. As is the fact the spare room is opposite mine. The doors almost opposite each other. It was weird going to bed being able to see him at his desk, knowing he only had to turn around and see me, but honestly, I wondered if his presence could calm my racing mind and allow a decent night's rest. It did not. You know the drill by now, the awfulness of it all, and when I finally awoke, I saw that Jin had curled up on my bed, so I shakily closed my door and watched some shitty rom-com on Netflix to try calm down. In the morning, however, Alex looked wrong. Pale as a ghost and gaunt, wild eyes staring relentlessly. It seemed my mother had tried to coax what was wrong out of him all morning, but it was only when I had come downstairs and she left to set up the party he spoke. His voice was laced with fatigue and fear. Dan, what the fuck was that? No way he saw. It's impossible. Dan, please. What the fuck? I know you saw it too. Dan, what the fuck? Don't just sit there. What was it? I don't know, Alex. What exactly did you see? He looked as if he was going to cry. Honestly, I wasn't far off myself. That thing. That alien-looking motherfucker. If your cat hadn't stopped it, I was going to... It was going to actually... at this point he started crying. A small whimpering cry like a scolded child. I had never told anyone about what I saw, only that I had nightmares and sleep paralysis. Never what it actually looked like. I was in shock. My ears were ringing. The walls felt like they were closing in. Wait. Alex, what did you say about Jin? He looked up, wiping his face with the black of his sleeve. She stopped it. She ran in front of it as it was running towards you. Then everything went black. When I could see again, your door was closed. I don't know what to do. I just closed my door too. Fuck. All this time, she didn't want to be shut out. To protect me? Then a new, horrifying thought dawned on me. Jin was old. 11. Pretty old for a cat. How had I never seen Jin before? I guess I was too focused to ever look down at the floor. Alex has left now. I'm getting really worried. I asked my mum how long cats are meant to live for. She said that Jin was old. She could last a few more years. It's not unheard of, but she's old, slow, and probably won't last that long. What the fuck am I meant to do?